So last night I woke up in the middle of the night around 2:30 and was wide awake, which doesn't happen all the time to me, but sometimes. And I try to view those things as being my subconscious needing to work something through. So when that happens, I get up, I go to my meditation seat, and I do some internal work. So that's what I did in the middle of the night last night. Yesterday, I had a phone call with one of my friends. He's somebody who identifies as being very intuitive and very psychic. And one of the things we talked about was my need to continue to work on letting go and letting go and letting go, in the sense of who I think I am and who I need to be. All the things that I identify as me, those things need to start, or they're trying to fall away, and that I'm resisting, that I'm wanting to hold on to what makes me me, as opposed to opening up to what my next level is. So when I woke up in the middle of the night last night, that was very much on my mind. So I worked on trying to go into this deep space and let go of everything. So even though I like the person I am and I like where I'm at in the world, from a yogic point of view, everything that we are is not our true selves. Everything that we think of ourselves as being is just a fraction of our totality. And anytime we start to over-identify with that limited sense of self, we stop growing as deeply. And so as scary as it is, we need to be able to let go of everything that we think we are in order to fulfill our potential. That's like a really scary thing to have to deal with, but that's also part of the spiritual path, is to enter this state of nothingness, this state of not being. And the trick is by entering that state of not being, we actually become so much more. We actually grow and open, but it means surrendering everything that makes us us. So this morning I was having a little bit of a freak out where I got back home after walking Galileo in the morning, and I just wanted to crawl into bed and curl up under the covers and weep. Like this feeling of just big parts of me falling off. And I did. I went and laid in bed. I breathed. I meditated. I surrendered. And it's a scary thing that, a lot of spiritual people don't talk about, especially in America. Our idea of spiritual identity comes around this idea of needing to construct a healthy ego and needing to be confident and needing to believe in yourself more, needing to be more powerful. And there definitely is an element of that that's needed, right? Like you need a healthy sense of self to function in the world. But on the flip side of that, I would argue that one of the big things of spiritual growth is to fully realize that you are nothing. You are not this body, you are not this mind, you are not these collective experiences. And that means having to surrender a whole heck of a lot. It can be really scary, because what would you do if you woke up tomorrow morning and let's say you were always the sort of person who loved potato chips? Like your highlight of your day was waiting for lunch where you got to have a bag of potato chips with your sandwich. One morning you woke up and you realized, I don't like potato chips anymore. That's really weird. That's kind of what that experience is like, this letting go of who we think we are. These things which we've come to identify as being us start to disappear. Our attractions, our longings, sometimes our relationships, our self-understanding, our labels, they all start to shift and grow. Because from the yogic perspective, everything that we label as being us is actually just the accumulation of previous experiences, or karma created samskaras in our energy body, and those samskaras, those patterns in our energy body, are what formulate identity. And as we work through our karma and those samskaras dissolve, the energy body takes less and less defined form as it merges back into the oneness, which means everything that we are, everything we think of ourselves as being, starts to dissolve. And granted, there are trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions of samskaras, so it's a little probably more apt to describe it as like peeling an onion. So we work through some of it, we work through some of our karma, but then there's older, deeper karma underneath that. So we still are people, we still want things, we still do things until we reach the end point, but they may be different than they used to be as we go to that deeper level, which can be terrifying, because one morning you wake up and you realize my favorite color is now red when it's always been blue, or I'm now attracted to this type of person instead of that type of person. And so the willingness to let go of everything you are, even if a lot of those things aren't particularly fun or happy, they're what we've identified as being for so long, it can be tremendously difficult to let that go. So have you ever had an experience like this? Have you ever woken up and realized you are not the person that you thought you were? Have you ever sat and allowed your conscious self to dissolve? And if so, what have your experiences been with that? Because ultimately we are not the things we think ourselves to be. So are you willing to do that? Are you willing to go there? Are you willing to go to a place of not knowing and not seeing and not understanding who you are anymore? Are you willing to take the leap into the abyss, give up everything you know for the potential of becoming so much more. And it's okay if the answer is no. A lot of people don't want it. A lot of people will take many lifetimes before they're ready to take that leap. But it's a choice we have to eventually make, because it is one of the final steps to coming home. So I'd like to invite you to sit with me for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Relax your face, relax your jaw. And as you breathe into the center of your chest, feel that which is you. Feel that which is your identity and who you think yourself to be. And as you breathe into that space, feel it start to dissolve, flake off, shed. Allow yourself to feel like you are something eternal, something radiant and glowing, something far beyond this limited sense of self. Because the truth is, once you get past this limited identity of who you think you are, the potentials are limitless. You will end up being so much more. Breathe and let yourself fall apart. I know for myself, for so long I wanted to feel like I was somebody important, like I really mattered, that I was successful and a top-tier person in the world. I wanted to prove myself. And there are obviously parts of me that still want that. I mean, I am human, I'm living in a physical body. I don't know if I'll ever fully get past that. But I'm working to realize that that desire to feel powerful, to feel exceptional, to feel amazing in the outer world is really a reflection of a desire to know your truest self. Because when you really connect with that thing inside that is the deeper you, it is overflowing with self-acceptance and self-love and radiance and gratitude and joy and power. By leaning into that inner self, we end up getting everything we ever wanted from the outside world and so much more. Thanks for taking a few minutes today to meditate with me. I'm Kay, this is Ecstatic Self. Check out my upcoming book, Journey to the Ecstatic Self, available now, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold. And if you're up for it, please subscribe and click the notification button to get notified about my next video. Namaste.